Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Kraft, and I am an intuitive energy healer. I've been doing energy healing since 2001. A lot of times I get the question, what is the difference between your energy healing sessions in person versus on the phone? So I'm going to explain the differences. So first of all, in an intuitive energy healing session with me in person, you're lying down on a massage table and, in both in-person sessions and over the phone, first we're going to talk. I'm going to ask you what you would like me to work on, what your issues are, and then we will begin. So in person, I place my hands on you. There's soft music playing, in a nice atmosphere. I try to make my office and table comfortable. So it's very deeply relaxing. And this energy comes through me. This is my healing gift. I don't claim that it's my energy because it's not. It's an energy that I feel coming through me. And just to give you a little background here, I was attuned to Reiki. I became a Reiki master. I began that training in 2001 with level 1 and 2, and then level 3, the Reiki master teacher level in 2002. I began doing Reiki professionally and then at that time. And, um, I taught Reiki for 14 years. However, I don't do Reiki. I stopped doing Reiki in 2009 when I realized that I had a different gift that was not Reiki. So ever since 2009, I have been doing my own energy healing modality. It doesn't have a name. I just call it energy healing because that's what it is. And I do have another video talking about my gift and the whole history there and the story. So you can go back and listen to that video for a deeper history on my healing gift and how that all came about. But in this video, I just want to talk about what sessions are like in person and over the phone. So I'm not doing Reiki. I'm not doing anything that's out there that has a name. I'm doing my own unique healing gift. So I feel I feel energy coming through my body. So when I place my hands on my client in person, they all tell me that my hands are extremely hot. I can't feel that heat at all because it's not my body. So it's the energy, and it's the energy that's coming through me, through my hands to the person. And I find it fascinating that I cannot feel the heat. And all of my clients are shocked when I tell them I don't feel that because they feel like my hands are extremely hot. Okay. So that's one effect you're going to get in person. You're going to get physical touch. My hands, are lightly, gently placed on you and on various parts of your body. And I feel a lot energetically going on. I can feel sensations in my hands. I can feel sensations in your body. Let's just say I'm holding your ankles, I can actually feel the energy running up and down your whole body. I don't know how because I'm touching one place, but I can feel it. So there's having a session in person is highly energetic. So the client lying on the table can go very deep, meaning very deeply into relaxation because they are having a very full body sensory experience. They are feeling the energy in their body, even in different places from where I'm touching. They can feel the energy moving. My hands actually vibrate sometimes. I have no control over this. This is the power of the energy that's moving through me for the healing session, and it can cause my hands to vibrate. So they can feel the vibrations, they can feel the heat, they can feel. There's another thing that happens in basically every session that I do in person, which is, it's going to sound weird and crazy, and it kind of is, and I don't know why it happens, but when my hands are on you, the energy causes your body to rock gently back and forth, almost as if you're on a boat that's just gently swaying. Now, all of my clients feel that, I shouldn't say all, but it seems like, 99.9% feel that the table is moving, like swaying back and forth. It doesn't create any kind of seasick feeling or any nausea or any kind of motion sickness. It's just a very gentle rocking. The body does rock. So let's say my hands are on you and creating this rocking motion. I'm not moving my hands at all. I do not move my hands. I'm saying that the energy that's coming through causes the body to rock. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is what happens in with in-person sessions. So because the body is rocking, they feel that the table is swaying because it's that significant of a feeling. But the massage table is very sturdy wood and it does not move. It's stable. And so it can feel that, it just feels like that gentle swaying, rocking feeling. And then I've even had someone say that they felt that their body was levitating. So, it's highly energetic, it's highly sensory. You feel the energy a lot. You can feel things releasing from your body or shifting or changing, or you can feel extra pain in a place where you originally do have pain or a problem where it's kind of like increasing before it finally releases. All a variety, so many different things can happen. I feel significant physical sensations in a healing session in person. Energy moving, bubbles popping. A lot of times I'll feel bubbles under my hands that are like bubbles in the person's body that are popping and being released. So I know things are clearing. I can just feel significant releases and shifts and changes happening within the body. Um, so the people after this experience on the table, usually people are blown away because of the energetic, feelings, the energy, the effects of the energy, the feelings, the sensations, the multitude of things, as I've been describing. So so that's something that over the phone is missing to a certain degree. I'll get to the phone sessions in a second, but over the phone, people do tell me that they can feel the energy, but it's different, obviously. My hands are not on you. So let me focus on the in-person first, and then I'll get to the phone sessions and we'll talk about the differences here. So during the in-person sessions, again, you're lying on the table, my hands are on you. There's quiet music playing. It's deeply relaxing. There may be a lot of silence because as I'm doing the healing, I'm experiencing the energy, letting it flow, and really tuning into it. And I'm allowing the person to have their experience, to experience the energy, to go deeply relaxed, and to just experience the healing session. But I also tune in to your higher self. I do that in person and I do that over the phone. So during a session, I will ask your higher self, your soul, same thing, to connect with me. And I will ask for any messages to come through. And I will also, so I'm opening up to my higher self, my soul, and your higher self, my client's higher self. So I'm asking for input, you know, about their issues. So I ask the questions to receive the answers. And what I tune into the soul, and I can tend to give an overview of, this is what I'm picking up on about your soul. So your soul essence, your qualities, your gifts, different things that come up, whatever may come up, to explain the essence of that person's soul. And it, usually tends to resonate. And so there are all kinds of messages that come through in this way. And I will talk during the session, a bit as things come up. Once in a while, I'll save things for the end because I want the person to experience the healing and relax, and I want to feel into it. And then I just save up all the messages for the end, or some of them. So we sit down at the end and talk. But sometimes, I will just go ahead and speak during the healing portion and let the soul either speak through me, or I will say, this is what I'm receiving from your soul. So those messages come through. Sometimes other uh, souls come through, meaning loved ones who have crossed over, might pop into the session, and I'll say, do you have, you know, has so and so crossed over, because they're here, and I will provide messages for them from the soul, their loved one who is on the other side. Now, I don't publicly, announce that I'm a medium, although I am a medium, but I don't do it on demand. A medium is what I'm talking about, communicating with souls on the other side. I don't do that as my number one profession, so I don't publicly say I'm a medium. But what happens during a session is that sometimes it can happen. Um, and that I don't tell people that ahead of time. Of course, I'm saying it on this video, but what I allow is for it to come up organically and naturally during a session. I don't even think about it. I don't think, oh, I wonder if somebody is going to come. It just happens naturally while I'm doing a session. And then I feel their presence and I see them in my third eye. So when I'm doing sessions, I close my eyes. When I close my eyes, I receive more information. I tune in deeply to the soul. I tune in deeply to the energy. I have all of the clairs. So I am clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant. I'm an empath. And so the feeling nature is there, the empathy. I can What usually happens in a session is that I can feel in my own body where someone has an issue. So if I'm feeling something very significant in one specific spot of my body, I will go there, with my hands, let's say, if it's in person, and heal that place, or ask, do you have something going on in this location? And they'll confirm, usually that they do. So anyway, back to the mediumship part. Yeah, so if a soul comes in, I will bring it up, bring messages across. This can be with pets or people. It can also be with souls, in which the person is still alive on Earth, but their soul, wanted to come in for the session for whatever reason. So this type of mediumship can be with living people or people who have crossed over. It's not limited because souls are eternal, they're always existing, and they are aware of what's going on. So we have a portion of our soul essence or energy in our body for our incarnation, but a portion of the soul always remains in the spirit world, eternally. So that's the part that kind of pops into the session to let me know they're there and that they're either coming in for healing. Let's say, I'm doing work on a woman and her mother comes in, but her mother's alive. And I say, well, your mother's here. Maybe she wants to be receiving energy as well, or maybe there are messages coming through, or maybe there's healing that needs to happen between them. So every session is unique, and I will just bring up what is coming through for that particular person. So um that, that's part of it. And then so because I'm an intuitive, empathic healer with all of those, spiritual gifts, the clairsentience, an audience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, all of those things, I'm tuning in and receiving information on all of those levels, right? Through my inner spiritual ears, my inner spiritual vision or sight, the feeling nature of the energy. So as I'm doing this session, I'm addressing all of these aspects of information that are coming in. I'm receiving them on all levels. And it's just a full, experience in that way. And I provide feedback, right? Like I said, about what I'm getting, what I'm sensing, what I'm feeling. And then what I like to do is I like to get to the root cause of anything. So let's say the person has a physical manifestation, like an issue in their body. What I'll do is I'll go with my consciousness, and obviously this is in person, my hands are on the person, but I'll go, and my hands don't have to be in that same location. Let's say I'm still touching like the feet, for example, but they have an issue on the right abdomen. It doesn't matter where I am. I'll just go with my consciousness into that area, and I'll ask it to reveal to me what is the underlying issue here, and I will get an event that they've experienced in their lifetime, or an emotion, a situation, a trauma, a feeling, a thought. And all of these things create physical manifestations, right? So the issues always originate, let's say, spiritually, and then they come in through the mental body, the emotional body, and then the physical body as the last place. So I want to go into that area with my consciousness, ask about what is the underlying cause, and then I will get the answer. So I will then bring it up to the person and say, well, you're having this right side abdominal pain because of, this conflict that you have with this emotion and this event, and did this ever happen to you, or did you ever experience this or that? So I will receive information, and then I'll ask questions to confirm, like, with my client, did that happen, or have you felt this way? And sometimes people start to cry and release, and um, it's good because whatever has been stuck, whether energetically or emotionally or mentally, can rise up to the surface in a session and be cleared out. That's the whole reason people come for energy healing, is for healing and clearing. And so most people end up crying in my sessions, and don't be embarrassed about that. I'm completely used to it. It happens every day, in my world with my clients. So it's like the norm for me, and I'm totally comfortable with that. And it's a place where I hold this space of love there for you, and people can just release and open up and share and tell me anything. People tell me things that they've never told anybody else. So I create a very safe container, very loving and very healing, so that these things can come up and be healed and cleared. So, and then after the energy healing in person, and I do sound healing when you're in person. I do crystal singing bowls, tuning forks. So when you're on my table, you're going to experience a full, healing, not a full healing, sound healing session. But what I mean is, you're going to experience it fully in person. I don't do it over the phone. So I will play the singing bowls over your body. It's very powerful. People can feel the vibrations and the resonance of the tones and the singing bowl sounds throughout their bodies. Sound healing can heal the body, can clear the body, can align and harmonize the chakras, just so many things can happen. And so I do that in the beginning. It helps bring people into a very deep space within and for that relaxation and getting into a nice state for receiving the energy healing. And then I will do the sound healing again at the end, which is a nice way to clear the energy and again harmonize the whole body and all the systems. And it's very relaxing and healing to experience sound healing this way in such a profound way in person. And then I, invite them to get up off the table when they're done, and then we sit down in the chairs and we debrief. We talk about the session and the things that came up, and I share more if I had saved any for the end to reveal like messages and information for them. And so we just talk and, I give them a cup of water if they don't have any, and if they didn't bring their own, a lot of people bring water bottles and things. So, but I have that there available, and then that's it. We wrap it up. So the difference on the phone is that, so we get on the phone, we start talking. I ask you, what are your issues? What would you like to work on? And because we're on the phone, there's a lot more talking because then in person, perhaps, because in person, like I mentioned, I might be quiet for most of the time, silent, just really letting the person experience the energy, letting myself really tune in and focus on it and receive the information that I need to receive and feel what I need to feel that's going on in the body. So when we're on the phone, it seems to be less body focused. I'm the energy healing is happening the entire time we are on the call. It's happening automatically. People do feel it. But if I'm not tuning into it silently and really picking up on it, then we're kind of not focusing on that part. What we're doing is we're talking. Because as you know, being on the phone means that we have to talk to communicate. When you're in person, if my hands are on you and there's a lot of heat and then there's a lot of energy moving, that's the communication. You know what's happening. You are in a session, you're feeling it. I'm there, I'm touching you. If we're on the phone, sometimes I am silent when I'm working on an issue, if I'm working on healing. So there could be long periods of silence, and I tell you, I'm focusing on the healing. This is what I'm working on. But more often, it's that there's more talking. So on the phone, where I'm delving deep into the soul, I'm tuning in. This is why I don't use video. I do not do healing sessions with video because, I'm not doing anything at the visual level. Like there's no reason for me to see you. I need to close my eyes and tune into your soul and tune into all of your bodies, your mental body, emotional body, your physical body, but I'm doing it at the intuitive level. So it's distracting to look at you on video. It doesn't make any sense for the session. So I don't do that. And it's just a distraction. So, and it doesn't work well. So I don't do that. If you are in need of a video session, say on Zoom, or like an internet-based session because you're in a country that doesn't allow for WhatsApp. So if I'm doing an international session, the first choice I'll offer is WhatsApp. But there are some countries in the world that don't allow for WhatsApp. And so then the next step is Zoom. And so if we do a Zoom session, I have the video off, you have the video off. It's just voice, just audio. It's the same as being on the phone. So those are the different options: the phone, WhatsApp, Zoom, and then if none of those are, um, so far, those have been the only ones that I've really used or needed. Some people do Skype because that's the old-fashioned way that I used to do sessions if they were distant. So I have just like 2 or 3 clients remaining on Skype, but the rest I do these other ways. So because I'm tuning in at such deep levels over the phone, my eyes are closed. We are talking. I'm doing the same thing I do in person, which is connect with your soul, your higher self, bring messages through from that level. Of course, my higher self is always engaged in the session. So whatever wisdom or information comes through me is coming through a combination of my soul, your soul, and then I do a lot of third party connections, which means my client, a lot of twin flames contact me. So my client, and it doesn't have to be a twin flame, but it could be anybody, where my client wants me to connect with another person. So let's just say it's a twin flame and they'll say, how is my twin flame doing? What's going on with them? So I will just ask to connect with their soul, and their soul is the one who has the free will to either provide me with information, or not, or well, they always do, but to what extent, right? So I'm never violating free will of anybody because the soul governs that and only provides what I need to know to relay to my client. And so interestingly enough, I can also tune into the person level. I know it sounds kind of weird, but basically I can tune into another person and I never need a name. I don't know how this works. I never need a person's name. Someone can just say, can you check in on my brother or my sister or my mother or my twin? And that person somehow comes in clearly for me. Very specifically, I can read them. I can read them at the person level and the soul level. And there are two different levels. They are different energies, and they provide different information. So I'll tune into the person level and say, okay, that, they're struggling with this or that, or they're feeling this way. And I ask to connect with the soul, and I'll give messages about the overall um, theme or purpose of of you know their connection or what's going on. So it's a variety. So it doesn't have to be just twin flames. So for example, a mother or a father can have book a session with me to work on their baby or their 6-year-old or their 20-year-old. It doesn't matter the age, but perhaps that other family member or loved one doesn't even want to do a session, or they didn't bring it up to them because they don't think they would actually believe in it. That's fine. They book a session. They say, I want to do this session for so and so. So I'll be on the phone with this person. We'll be talking, but we're talking about the issues going on with someone else. And I'll say, okay, let me send that person healing. And this is what I'm getting. And this is so it's not a violation again, because I ask for permission from the soul. Now, if I don't get permission, then it's not happening. Which that's never actually happened, but because what happens is the soul will allow for the energy healing to go to them, and the soul will then distribute the healing to the person as needed, like as they will accept it. So it's always within the will of the soul and the person, right? So I'm just offering it and it's going there, being given by the soul. Let's just to be more specific, the energy healing that I give goes to the soul, and then the soul can send it to the person if there's any resistance or just closed energy there. So, and that's how it always works anyway. So um I'm not bypassing any, the soul. So I think you get the idea of what I'm mentioning here. So people can have sessions, with me for others. And it works. I do healing for other people all the time through, parents or family members or whatever. So that's very common. Again, I don't need names. I just somehow, I guess my soul knows who they're referring to. I mean, sometimes if it's a family member, people will say, okay, my brother Johnny, and okay, Johnny, and then I connect. But a lot of times people don't say a name. Like if it's a twin, they just say my twin, or if it's whatever, you get the point, family member. So I offer healing that way. So because when two people are on the phone, empty silences or space tends to want to be filled up. There is more talking on the phone. There's dialogue, there's soul searching, there's, delving deeply into the issues. My intuition is coming through in all of those same ways that I mentioned before: clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, all of those, empathy. Um, so there's deep diving into the issues, talking things through. I'm revealing underlying causes of things. It there's mental healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, and for the physical healing, the energy is going to the person. They can feel it usually, sometimes, not everybody. And sometimes I'll say, okay, let me focus on this issue, and I'll be quiet and send healing and really go in to the body and, do it. But, because I'm making this video, because people ask me, what is the difference? The difference over the phone is, you're not going to feel my warm hands on you. You're not going to feel those significant energy effects, like the vibrations of my hands, the rocking of your body, the feelings of all of the different physical sensations that are going on in the body. So physically, it's a very different experience, although the energy healing works just as well in person or at a distance. So the efficacy of the actual healing is the same. There's no difference, because in actuality, there's no time or space. Because there's no time or space, location does not matter. So you're going to get the healing in the same way, meaning the same amount of healing, if you're on the phone or in person. And it's kind of interesting that I'm making this video to describe the differences, because about a year and a half ago, I moved away from the area where I was living for 19 years, and I had an office there the whole time. And before that, I was living in Washington, D.C., and I had an office when I started in 2000. Well, I started my Reiki training in 2001, and then 2002, I got my office. So I was still living in Washington, D.C. And then in 2003, I moved to Northern Virginia. And from 2003 until through half of 2022, I was living in Northern Virginia, and I always had an office ever since 2002. So I had I had been doing a lot of in-person sessions. When I moved, and phone sessions, when I moved in 2022 to this new location where I live now, I did not get an office. So I've been doing 100% phone sessions for all of this time for the past year and a half. I did just open up an office in Lynchburg, Virginia. I've only had one client there because I literally just opened it up. I'm making this video in the beginning of December 2023, just to give an idea of the time frame. And I don't suspect that this is my long-term plan, meaning I don't think that I'm going to be living here um, for the rest of my life. Let's just put it that way. And this office that I have may be temporary, because I don't know, I just don't feel that I need an in-person office. So I'm making this video to explain the differences, because I get this question a lot. And because I do have an office now, again, people want to know, should I come or even travel, right? Or if I do a phone session with you, what will it be like? How will it be different versus in person? So it's interesting because, not a lot of my clients from the 20 something years of doing this in person haven't really shifted over to the phone, because they enjoyed the in-person sessions so much. I mean, you can't deny that that feels really good, right? To have those warm hands on you, to feel that comfort, that soothing energy. It just feels amazing. And so to transition to the phone, it's kind of weird because they're not going to have those sensations. They're not going to be meeting with me in person. So then what would it be like on the phone, right? It might feel kind of lacking. But that's why I'm making this video too, is to say, well, yes, it's different. You're not going to feel my hot hands, on you, but we are going to dive deeply into your issues, and I'm going to connect with your soul in a very deep way. And we're going to really go deep into discussing what is going on, and find resolution and the origin of problems. And, it's a really deep um, dive into your soul, and everything that's going on in your life and whatever you're bringing up for the session. So yeah, I just mentioned that it was interesting that I'm making this now because I barely really do see people in person anymore. Although because I have my new office, perhaps, I'll get a few new clients locally. This is a new area for me. It's a different culture from where I used to live, and it's a smaller town. So I'm not really expecting much, and I'm not trying, to grow my practice that much in person, but I do have a lot of clients on the phone. That's primarily how I work now, and all over the world. My clients come from all over the world. But I'm doing this because people always have this question and they're curious and they want to know. And I think I've explained it thoroughly so that you can get the idea of the difference. It's just way more physical in person, more relaxing, I'd say, more silence, more just going deep versus on the phone where there's a lot more talking back and forth and really ironing out issues. And I can send healing over the phone to anybody, uh, your animals, your loved ones, you. A lot of times in a session, with my client, I'll say, okay, they'll bring up people. I'll say, okay, we're going to do healing for you, and then all of these family members and your pet. I'll even do house clearings. Like I'll clear the energy of the home and, um, other people. So there's a lot really going on there. So don't hesitate to do a phone session if you've never tried it. They are profound, they do work. People keep doing them. Most of my clients are ongoing. They keep coming back for more because we get so much done and they make so much progress. And yeah, it's just a bit different from in person, as you can imagine. And that's about it. So my website is stephaniecraft.com. I do healing sessions, energy, like I mentioned, and I do hypnotherapy. I do hypnotherapy over the phone as well. And people do ask me, what's the difference between an in-person hypnotherapy and an over the phone? And I pretty much say nothing. There's no difference other than at home. If you're at home, you get to lie down in your bed. So because if you're in my office for hypnotherapy, you're lying down on the table and closing your eyes, and I'm talking to you, in your ear. There's no difference because at home you're lying down on your bed and I'm talking to you in your ear with through the phone or the computer. So there's really no difference other than like we're sitting down in person and talking about the issues to begin with that you want to work on. Then I have you lie down, close your eyes. On the phone, same thing with hypnotherapy. At the beginning, we'll talk on the phone about what are your issues. And then I say, okay, go ahead, get comfortable, close your eyes, and we'll begin. So that requires much less explanation in the differences because there's really no difference other than, obviously not being in person. But over the phone, hypnotherapy works extraordinarily well because it's comfortable for the client. They're in their comfortable place. They can relax, let go. They don't have to worry about anything, getting to my office, anything. It's much easier. For many years, I used to say I would never do hypnotherapy over the phone. I will only do it in person. Well, after the whole pandemic, happened, I changed that because I had to start doing phone sessions with hypnotherapy. And you know what? I found out that they're either more effective or the same. efficacy as in person. There's no difference at all. So that's been an easy transition. And so I do hypnotherapy with people all over the world, and I will continue to do that through the phone. It's really unnecessary to do that in person. And you don't have to do it on the computer either with video, because that's distracting. There's no purpose to that. It's always with the eyes closed. You're always going deeply within. The video is just a distraction. We only need to hear each other. So that's that. Again, my website is stephaniecraft.com. Everything I offer is on there, all the prices, all of the lengths of the sessions, everything I offer. You can book online directly on there. And that's about it. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. And goodbye.